We saw the last. We're kicking off here on Regency control between both these squads. Now, as we head here, how important is it going to be for Fire and Ice to win this initial?
Well, I think what Fire and Ice has to do is win the power weapon initial, not necessarily the hill initial. They need to win the power weapons early on, because I think that's what Rise is going to be able to really use to their advantage. So you're going to see Fire and Ice try to put a lot of eggs in the basket of winning these nades in this M-bar. DeToX is going to have some help come back over the top, so it's going to be a 2v2 split up over here. Xploidz is going to be that front player, just trying to find shots onto a... Oh, a little miss by DeToX, but he doesn't miss the first, and he don't miss the second time. My goodness gracious, just a little reset for that man. Gets them that M-bar and gets them the positioning over the middle of the map.
Oh man, and they're gonna try to put this positioning mid-map to good use, as they have to still pick up one more kill on Toti. But after acquiring that, they can collapse down low towards the Rose Garden, but two members already coming off respawn. They take down DeToX as he rotates on over. They find the second kill as well. That M-bar will be out of play. Maybe you'll see it being picked up off the ground, but Avexys has to back up. Currently is F&I, who are remaining perfect on heal number 1 at Rose Garden. But look at player 5. He just got the respawns for Next. But does he go over towards Next, or does he go to help the fight down low? And it still seemed like Fire and Ice put most of their focus here. But we will start to see rotations coming out soon.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the rotation out. Early on, Rise has 2 players up top. Good little neutralization here by DeToX to not give up the entirety of this first hill. But already on the opposite side of the map, Avexys is going to be trying to be angled out here. Fearzly's on his left. Toti's all the way out on his right. Long range. Beautiful shots there by Avexys will shut one down. But 3 more players from Fire and Ice in the area are just going to be trying to pounce onto what's left of Avexys. Rushiez will thankfully be there to help get the trades, though. I really love the way that both of these teams are playing. I mean, pretty much perfect teamwork. They're about to get pinched, though. They need to push out here against Xploidz, because you can see coming from the inside of the building, they will have 3 players of Fire and Ice trying to push up from the other 90 degrees, and they need to finish this off very quickly and get back in there to help their teammates out.
Yeah, so that kill will get cleaned up here towards the back, and you see the entire Rise squad spread out, pull out the Lancers, and that's just beautiful crossfire to angle out these F&I members. We see Xploidz spawn behind them down low at Fountain. He's going to have himself a 1v2 that he can just not handle in this scenario. But even though he distracted 2 players, his squad mates were not able to take the 2v2 fight that they actually had on the hill, and Rise will continue to control this side of the map, which is huge, because they're going to get all the rest of this time, and that's going to get us into a tie game. With just under 30 seconds remaining, you have to start thinking about gold rotation, and you got player 7 and 5 about to go against 4 here, as Avexys is by himself rotating for control. He goes down. The nade is going to be blocked from the meat shield. Still 1 left, tossed out. I love the placement on the stairs, but it will not connect as well. And it's F&I with control of gold.
It's a lot of pressure being put out by Rise to try to get this early rotation. I think Avexys probably misses a couple of pellets on that second shot, ends up losing that fight there. This is the big differential, though. Can Rise get a retake like we saw E United did in that first matchup? Right now, 2 players mounted up, lancering out toward the middle. They're going to call Rushiez out, trying to sneak all the way through the bottom of the map. Long-range flashes are going to have Fearzly on his back foot, pushing toward that spawn area. DeToX makes it all the way across the big windows. Oh my goodness, what a shot over the top. Gets the down, gets the kill. Now Rushiez is trying to pressure up onto the hill. 2 more players worry about. A bunch of shots ring out. Slexic finds a trade of his own. Now you see Rise. They get a beautiful retake here. They're going to have control over the hill. They can catch up once they hold, if they hold this entire hill, but they're going to give up some trash time. You know they're not going to stay here for the whole 40 seconds, but they only need about 33 or so to get back into this, make it 90 to 90 before that next hill rotates out. We know it's going up top toward that M-bar spawn, so you see Fearzly actually trying to rotate up there, playing in this pillar area. Not sure if he's going to push into this hill, because they have the shock. I don't know why you'd necessarily push this out unless you think you're going to get a perfect retake and have time to rotate over to the next hill. They get a couple of kills early, so it's coming through for them already.
It's looking like it may work out for him. And when it comes down to the next hill, it's going to be a statue, and they already have a few players there set up. So they get the rest of the scrap time, and FNI will keep the lead. But they do have players on their left and in their right, as it's a split spawn coming in for Rise. They will be able to catch out Xploidz here, and now it's an uphill aggression here for Rise as they try to make it towards the back portions to get control. But you see Embar in the hands of Fearzly, but no room for him to work with. Revive comes through for his teammates. Icy has perfect positioning. DeToX comes in for the cleanup, and Fearzly just puts the weapon on his back, and it is a clean retake here from Rise on top of statue.
Clean sweep. Icy goes for one more kill on Xploidz. Maybe a little bloodthirsty right there, but they know the call out's going to come through. Everybody's going to spawn on that side of the map. Flash and Dash will come through here momentarily as they will go for the neutralization through the middle of the map. DeToX pressured out toward the backside. They're going to try to get this down. Beautiful little rotation over by Rushiez will help shut down that first player. Now Toti stuck between a rock and a hard place, continuing to get full spreaded. He goes down. Icy on the backside gets flanked by Fearzly, so that's 2 deaths in a row to Fearzly for Icy. That can't make him very happy. Maybe he can get some revenge here shortly, but Xploidz in the middle of the map, playing those mid stairs, waiting for the first player to maybe try to challenge him or for an opening to try to pressure up. Here comes Rushiez trying to make a miracle happen, but there's 2 players waiting in the wings for him. Beautiful shots by DeToX to help get it down. This is a big team fight. Nobody going down just yet, dying off, but a lot of downs being traded out.
Yeah, a big team fight indeed, and Icy gets away, and he's going to just kind of retreat there. And Fearzly may still just be waiting for that revenge from the San Diego Grand Finals against Icy, but it still seems like Icy has a one leg up on him here on that mental game whenever he gets into these battles. Thinking about that San Diego trophy they got in the first Gears 5 event to kick off the season. Now, currently in this hill, you're going to have pretty much a tight game, folks, and now it comes down to Fountain with Rise already being set up in this scenario. Xploidz, he makes it through, misses the shot, well, connects with it. Just wasn't a good enough shot for him to really make a difference in the fight. But on the flip end, it is Rise who pick up multiple kills. A 1v1 briefly in a hill, but Dyslexic only needs a brief moment to make a play. I love the movement, the angles, the reset. Another spread here, but he still takes his battle out wide, knowing that he has to worry about a second player. Great effort. Brought his team a lot of time, and they will be able to take down Avexys, who took out Dyslexic. FNI have control of Fountain. I think it's off the back of Dyslexic staying alive as long as he did, not allowing Rise to get set up.
And one of the things that they were able to do pretty well right there is the way that they played back behind the pillar. They used kind of that 90-degree angle to get kills, get those establishment damages as people come in. Toti holding down the front lane of this defense. Little misroll out. We'll find him dead. Now they push up. They have the neutralization as well, and they have the downs. So a 20-point differential will disappear or evaporate very quickly as you can see them start to rotate out. I think they're going to actually try to get toward the middle of the map, maybe try to get that next respawn Embar. That's where Icy's going to be waiting. They get it in the hands of Icy, and that next hill, ladies and gentlemen, will be that top left side of your map. I believe Blaze has been referring it to as couches. So it will be the top left side, a couch side of the map. They get the Embar inside of Icy's hands, and Avexys already at the 50-yard line will be starting to try to mark out or point out where anybody from the side of Fire and Ice is set up.
Now, this may be a great time to have Hill 101 call-outs with Guy Blaze and Colin, but where next is rotated, I do call that couches, but where Fearzly currently is in this hill that Icy's rotating through, I'll call this one gold for the several gold statues and gold that's just kind of on the ground that's around it. But this side of the map, you see Rise trying to rotate in from the bottom portion, and it's not working out for him well, having to go up these stairs with Fire and Ice set up, but they didn't have too many options. And when it comes down to these corner hills, I can argue that the best place to retake them all is through statue up top, where that Embar spawns at.
Yeah, it gives you a couple of lanes to kind of smoke out, flash out, and try to get up there very quickly into your opponents. This is a very wide open area that you kind of have to rotate through. It's a lot of damage that can be done to you as you try to get uphill into these battles. It's like you're fighting on the beaches of Normandy, and you're just getting sliced and diced as you come up through the sand pits into the bunkers. Avexys, though, helping shut down two different players from Fire and Ice. They have a little break right here. It's only a 15-point differential, and with 40 seconds left on this hill, this is a pretty important hill right now. Up over 150 for both squads. The rest of this time is very important. Toti, though, playing the man on a mission, getting 2 big kills, just rotating across the front and the side of the map. It looks like the rest of this time will go over to Fire and Ice. They've got to be able to rotate toward that next hill. That next one playing down in Rose Garden is going to be a very important, very big initial for the remainder of this map, for the foretold portions of either one.
I'm with you on that one, Colin. This is really going to go down. This is going to tell the tale of the tape when it comes down to who's going to win between these squads. F&I got those pretty much all the time. I think they got 60 points off this hill, their first hold, but Rise did rebuttal when we went towards info in the top right-hand corner of the mini-map on that next rotation. And Rise currently still with control of this hill. Xploidz picks up a kill on his side of the map, allows his team to have a 2v2 fight for the hill down low as long as they stay alive. Players 6 and 4 have a 1v1 up top at Couches. And Fearzly will be able to pick up this kill and fling through right away. Wants to make sure nobody can come through and get that revive. But on the flip end, Rise is still holding strong here in the Rose Garden.
Still holding strong indeed. Icy goes down, a couple of shots out, full red onto Dyslexic. They'll get the kill onto him. Holding onto this hill still, 50 more points is a big differential. So this is every second counts territory. They need to continue to get these kills, continue to hold onto the hill. Fearzly full red. He's going to flash, and he's going to try to dash over to DeToX. The neutralization comes through for a moment. Both teams with a player inside of the hill, keeping the points from going up for either side. Rise will get it back in their favor. They can get the lead with this hill as well. Looks like they're over-rotating, though. They're going to try to get back out over to that next spawn, that top right corner of the map, try to get into an area where they might be able to Lancer out or go for a retake. But with 3 players of Fire and Ice already here, now it's a 3v3 true because Rushiez has finally made it to the fight.
And if I had to call any money hill for Rise, I think it may be this one. It could be how they can hold the right-hand advantage with their Lancers towards the back and systematically rotate them their way into the hill as they're cleaning up kills. You know, F&I fighting this one very aggressively against the windows with shotties out. They got some Lancers here towards the back that's being able to keep down some of the players of Rise, but it's not enough pressure ultimately based off of Rise's setup. They are able to recover. You know, they get the Lancers out and reload it and just kind of hold this hill off. And we were fighting for this rotation for about 2 team fights, Colin, okay? The hill just rotated over, and it will be Rise with control briefly for now.
Well, now they got to worry about the inside. They basically finish out once again. This is the exact same song and dance. This is damn near deja vu from the first time the hill was over here. They get the kills on the backside of the map. Now they see Fire and Ice coming through the inside of the building. They start to get those kills as well. They've got to be able to match these up, get these kills one after the next without losing many players. Rushiez, beautiful shot there. Sees 2 down in front of him. 1 pull of the trigger will clean up both kills as well.
All right, so I said Rise. This is a hill in which they controlled majority of the time on when it came down to the first rotation. We'll see if that stays true with 30 seconds left. Here comes F&I to get a break, and DeToX walks right behind 2, point blank, turned on immediately. Xploidz connects on Icy with the M-bar. 3rd kill picked up, and Avexys is already rotating towards the next, knowing that his opponent cannot win off of this, but this is a battle for the spawn. Can he get back here in time? He's at a race against Toti, and he will be able to make it back there for the angle. And Toti, I don't know if he knows he's there yet. He may have just seen his face, but he definitely has all the intel that he needs to give his squad.
234, 231 on a lightning bolt's edge right now. Is the last 5 seconds on that hill. They don't matter. Nobody's over there.
Oh, he
but
is
this
deep
is very,
in there. That is a spot. Well, he's a spot if you ask me.
He's got a long ass angle to get any shots on. He needs to find that kill. That was a beautiful shot to get that kill. He trades out, but DeToX is down inside the hill. They get the revive out on him, but the M-bar from Xploidz trades out yet another kill. So now it's up to Rise to rotate back into this fight. They need to smoke out the backside of that hill. The elevation angle, too much for Icy to overcome. He gets killed off there. And now it's going to be up to those 3 players of Rise coming from the bottom side of the steps to get back into this, to try to get neutralizations, try to make this hill not be so lopsided in the favor of Fire and Ice. DeToX is definitely going to get called out here. Already full red, trying to play a little cat and mouse, but he goes down. That's definitely misinformed, misadvised if you ask me.
We finally got our first squad over the 250 mark, folks. I told you this was going to be an exciting series. And currently, when it comes down to a battle of control for the spawn, for the rest of the time at gold, kills coming out for both squads here on the feed. You're going to have a man advantage for Fire and Ice as they're looking for Icy, looking for Avexys as they're trying to push towards his back portion. The remaining 19 seconds will not be enough for F&I to win off of this one, so they have to rotate towards Statue. DeToX is set up. His favorite weapon is towards his right. His 3 opponents in front of him. Misses the first shot, backs up. Help from the nades with Avexys. He's able to pick it up, and now he can hold the line. Did not get the charge that he needed. The shot he misses. The composure is there. He finds one, and a kill cleanup comes through as well. In this moment, Rise is feeling as comfortable as they possibly can. They're just looking for the intel on the respawns, figuring out where their opponent's coming from, because if they could win this next team fight, they can take this map.
One of the things they got to be concerned with here is Dyslexic. He's going to be able to push up into this fight. He's going to get that kill. DeToX has to hit some of these shots. Down to just 3 seconds, excuse me. Any time on the hill for Fire and Ice is unacceptable in the highest regard. That was a big shot to miss. Andy goes down in that fight. Now the other rest of the kills are coming through. Fire and Ice, they strike first with a 300 to, I think it was 267 at the last moment that I saw it tick through. That was just beautiful retake by Fire and Ice. It boils down to a couple of missed shots to stop and hold off the retake of Fire and Ice. DeToX ends up going down. That was a well-fought matchup, but Fire and Ice, I mean, beautiful job by them. Nothing to take away from them in that situation. They did everything necessary to get those kills early and get those hills.
Ooh-wee. And so when it comes down to it all, F&I, man, they look really good on that map. Xploidz, he leaded the kill feed with a squad with just about 26 eliminations. And honestly, if we were to see the scoreboard again in that series, I actually think Rise outslayed them across the board. All right. And so, you know, when it comes down to that, Rise, they had an opportunity in some scenarios, but F&I think really in the late game, that's when they started to excel. They started picking up a few kills with those power weapons. And when they felt like they had control of the map, their rotations played out well for them. They were able to get set up early. You know, they're just hard to beat in those scenarios. You know, they fight for each other. They're always close together. You fight one, you got to assume that the second one's coming around a corner. He's going to be there to play off his teammates' damage. And that's a pace that's hard to match when you are behind and you're trying to play perfect in those type of scenarios.
Yeah, without a doubt. Having to play against the teamwork of Fire and Ice is a very difficult thing to do. As you can see, that's 50, 78 plus 26. That's another...
More downs, too, as well.
90-something, and then you see... Yeah, no, but I think it was almost... It was damn near even, 63. So it's just a little bit more eliminations in favor of Rise. So they do end up getting more eliminations. They were Slayer heavy, but that's, again, you can get all the kills in the world, but that's why there's an objective on the map. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Those kills that kind of tilted over their favor, you can almost go back to that info hill where both squads rotated early on the second rotation, and you saw about 2 team fights before control kind of went into anyone's favor. And it was Rise who actually won those engagements, but they did lose the hill, I want to say, right away when it transitioned over. Fire and Ice got the last bit of time there. But folks, we're just saying that to say how close and how evenly matched these two teams are and how much of a nail biter that first map was. And so Rise, they're playing from behind, down 1-0 in this series. But, you know, it didn't stop the squad of E United being down 1-0 in our first series to kick off the day. We just got to stay resilient, come back. That was the control, but now we're going to the round-based game mode. We got 2 maps of execution still to play. We still got our escalation coming up in map number 3. I do know that it's going to be training grounds, and this Rise Nation team is a good training grounds roster, so it's going to be exciting to see them play there. But we have to put our focus on Canals execution. Do you think, what does Rise need to do to really get a leg up against F&I?
I think they need to take advantage of their mid pressure on the map. What they can do probably better than most teams, and we've seen it throughout his history, is Rushiez can get into a spot very quickly off the initial. I think they need to start getting Rushiez up into that mid-bridge fight, start getting him into a position where he can try to use that movement, that extra pressure, getting that first step into an area to the advantage of Rise. You get Rushiez there, you take over the mid portion of the map, you make it almost impossible for Fire and Ice to try to play back.
Okay, all right. Well, now when it comes down towards just execution maps in general, how has these two teams stacked up against each other? What are their records looking like? Well, let's take a look at Rise's execution record here and see what's been going down. And what it looks at, it seems like they have one map that they may favor just a bit more than the others, Colin.
It looks like maybe they have a hotel on Clock Tower. They're playing a little Monopoly there. They said, look, if you land there, you're going to have to pay if you have to play us on Clock Tower. But finally, we start to see a new map make it into their execution rotation. This will be a very curious going for them because once again, when you haven't played it on the bright lights, under the bright lights on the big stage, it can get a little nerve-wracking. You might have played it a lot in the early goings. You might have played it a lot in scrims, but this is a completely different beast, a completely different ball game to have to worry about. So once again, I think it's going to be up to the power position of Rise to try to get into this.
Yeah. And, say that again. You think it's going to be the power position of what, Colin?
Power position of Rise players, getting Rushiez into that mid-bridge a little early, trying to get Rushiez, maybe even send him back connector because of how fast he is. If you send him through back connector, he might be able to pull up, especially without snipes on the map. There's nobody really to body check him there. So he can really get to that mid lane of the map to try to attack that center lane, attack that center bridge, and force people to make mistakes early in this round. Because I think that's going to be the thing that might set Rise apart from Fire and Ice in execution.
So so when it comes down to Canals strategy, oh boy, man. Canals strategy. I could talk about this one for hours, folks. All right. But when I tell you, it's really simple at the end of the day. And it honestly got simpler with the snipers being removed off the map because Canals mid-bridge is king, all right? And you have to have a duo designed to get up there every single round, rather if that duo is working from the low side or if that duo is working from the high side. So that front spawn who's going to be on the low side, he has to contest his fight every single round and get the maximum advantage off of his front spawn. I mean, he can't slow down. He can't have any missteps coming out of spawn because if he does, he puts himself at a disadvantage on the other player who may have came out hitting his covers perfectly to be able to get even just the slightest height advantage on that bridge. He takes a foot on the first step. He has an advantage on that fight down low. And as soon as he gets up there, that squad has an advantage because it's going to be hard to retake with his teammate having a Lancer behind them. And you also have to worry about pressure coming from the top side. Now, if that battle does not work out for you, you could send one player down low and then just send most of your numbers up top and try to take the bridge from that side. And then in that way, you get into a battle at the nades, a battle into both of those covers that may be a little bit better for your squad or your front spawn player. Because I tell you one thing, man, playing Canals block low side is not for the faint of heart. You have to have confidence when you play that position. And it really comes down to just just being slightly faster sometimes, even if you're just shooting first.
Especially if you can get to that front block and try to get that L trigger. But even if you hit 3 or 4 pellets, that's a lot more damage than you probably expected it to be. And you can end up putting somebody really on skates to where they're kind of nervous. They try to push back to the backside of the back connector. And then if you have somebody waiting for them, I mean, that's just a perfect trap laid out. We see both teams sending 2 people to the low side of the bridge, one in the middle of the map, and one back connector both sides. DeToX gets theirs first. It's a big shot onto Xploidz to get that kill. Now in a 4v3, Rise has the positioning to try to come away with this first round underboard as 2 players for Fire and Ice fall.
Yeah, and with Rise having that positioning on the top of mid-bridge, F&I is nothing in which they can do, folks. This map may have the quickest rounds. And then, I thought it was Checkout that may be our quickest execution map. Clock Tower definitely has to be our slowest, or maybe Tomb. They kind of tie it there, but Canals and Checkout, boy, they go super fast because you have to fight here. We know that nades are going to be spawning on top of mid-bridge. Torque bow is below. Now, DeToX is going to be at the frontal mark. You may not see much of that coming to play because once you get the nade, if you win that battle, it should be over. And once again, DeToX gets up on the mid-bridge first. And it seems to me that Rise has a flash in which Fire and Ice does not have in their arsenal, meaning the placement coming off the spawn is connected on Dyslexic, I believe that is, or whoever that front spawn player is, maybe Xploidz, before DeToX is even getting hit with one on his side.
Definitely, and I think one of the things we have to keep in mind right here going into the later parts of this round is that Torque Bow, as good as it is, He's going to have to be able to hit at least a pick here, maybe some splash damage. The frags are out. The shocks are out as well. They find a kill. They find a down with the shock as well. 2 downs on Dyslexic, and the shock is there to make sure nobody can pick him up. Beautiful team fire by Rise. I really think that they are right now just a little bit ahead of Fire and Ice on the meta of this map. As you said, the flash that is landing there at the bottom of that mid bridge is making life for Fire and Ice miserable because they can't get anybody up onto the top of it. It's Xploidz that keeps getting stunned, and then he has to rotate out, and he has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. So even though they've given up the torque bow, and they may have given up that first initial push into that middle bridge area or underneath of it, they have definitely taken over frags. They've taken over mid-bridge. Icy gets some help over the top. They get that kill. Xploidz, he knows it's all over, but crying 2 to love, really, in the round count for the side of Rise. And one of the things I want to see Fire and Ice do right here, throw an absolute curveball at him. Overload the opposite side of the map. Send Xploidz there so they get the call out. Hey, Xploidz is on the way. Throw the flash. He gets stunned. Roll him back toward his own bridge. Overload the back connector. Make them make a play back there. So he may be able to take over the top middle of that bridge. Maybe even Lancer out the players coming up the stairs.
Well, we are seeing the switch up, and they will be sending majority of their members up top to try to take over this bridge. But they're still too slow to make it there for DeToX, and DeToX already has his Lancer up. And I do believe his teammate that was Rushiez in the connector was able to get some shots in on those players as well. And this was the easiest round for Rise so far. Even with Dyslexic having a torque bow, folks, you still see without the mid-bridge control, he can't even get out the water. Okay, you know, the round before he rotated at high side, but with nade control, the shot grenades, and Rise's creativity and foresight to be able to predict Fire and Ice, they still have an advantage. So the torque bow, not much of a factor here in this scenario. And F&I, if they do send 2 players up top, they have to send the right spawns. Xploidz was slow. He just wasn't able to get there in time. This time he will be going towards the low side. I see him with a leg up, but you saw the flash come in, screen right, and he can't do nothing about that one.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Blaze. That last round, I had to shake at that shot that DeToX hit.
It was sick.
My man was waiting at the top of the bridge, and it looked like he had a twisted T, and somebody just said something out of pocket. He hit full spreads, got a couple of chunks out, but now it's up to Rushiez. He might be able to find it down, but he ain't gonna find nothing. That's a flawless round by Fire and Ice. First one on the board for them. Let's hope that we don't see a repeat from Vanquish earlier. This is an early lead for Rise. They need to not give away these next couple of rounds to allow them to start to get back into this. You want to go 4-1. You want to go 5-1. You don't want to give them any room to breathe.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to do that, because if you do, they will not give back that momentum if they have any say-so in it whatsoever. Let's see, the battle of the mid-bridge once again. Who makes it this time? DeToX will be able to just side roll up his side safely. He gets the frag grenades. Dyslexic gets the torque bow. He still has control on this side of the map. Player 6 needs to worry about Toti. DeToX, you can't throw that nade, brother. Takes himself out, but you see the nade right in front of Rushiez. He can actually pick that one up right in cover. And looking at him, he doesn't have it. He actually does have it in hand. So we'll see what he can do with that frag. But the battle needs to be won. And he has 3 players rushing him in the corner. The frag goes just a little bit too short. Enough to back him up, but not further enough to make him uncomfortable.
I'm really shocked that DeToX didn't try to bank that off the back wall, so that it would come down behind those 2 players instead of and try to trap them to force them to go on
the back wall, but as you're about to go towards connector, you just can't throw it down low at that angle. You could barely shoot bullets down low at that angle rather than throw frags.
I mean, my goodness gracious. Yeah, you need a little bit more of a needed a little more touch on that shot. If you're gonna try to bank it off the top of that thing, you need a little more touch off the glass, man. Maybe get a less.
You gotta twirl it. That's the you have to twirl it. You need the indicator on that. But as we're in this round, it is a man advantage currently for Fire and Ice. Rushiez doesn't have that one frag grenade that he had to start. They may have an opportunity at getting a shot grenade to spawn up. The way that these players are set up, it seems like this heal could end on the mid-bridge. We'll see where it goes. Rushiez knows he needs to take the 1v1. Took some damage. His opponents are going to try to finish him off here. Nice spread on the left. But they hold their shots. And in the end, just a matter of time before Fire and Ice finds his last kill on Icy.
Yeah, Shock is out. They're going to have the hill control. They're going to have double Shocks in front of Icy. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He knows it's all over, but it's crying. Icy just waiting up there. They start to emote in his face. That's 3-2. This is what they needed to not do. They needed to not give Fire and Ice room to breathe, and they have definitely given them plenty of room. They damn near hit him with a full resuscitation at this point, letting him right back into it.
All right, F and I. You can kind of, hear the faint heartbeat in the background, getting stronger and stronger round after round, but they'll be back at full force if they take this one. DeToX versus Xploidz was the story down low, but we see another switch up for Fire and Ice. They know that DeToX is proven to be a little bit too strong when it comes down to getting the mid-bridge control, and Rise actually runs a torque bow strategy. I love player 4 overextending, but he needs to deal with the 1v1 over here on the top. The Lancer Fire is there. He's able to get his teammates towards this side of the map, but now they can't get too overzealous and give up a few shots to the torque bow when they do have such great positioning. It will be a man advantage for Fire and Ice, but that's the overzealousness that I was talking about. They give up a kill to Avexys, and if these nades don't connect, Rise will have the advantage if they slow down the fight.
That man Avexys hit him with the most peekaboo shot I've ever seen. He gets the finish, so it's 2v3 still on the map. DeToX goes down. Little pick out from Rushiez, looking to find one more 2v1. Shot on the top. Won't find any splash damage. Needs to rotate back. He's going to get lancered out. That's a beautiful job by Fire and Ice. Tie it up 3-3. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. And didn't get to punt it necessarily. Sometimes, look,
it's good,
guys. Look,
it's good.
If you're an aspiring lawn snapper out there, you do not want to snap the football to the right of your kicker. All right, he was trying to punt that out there, try to really get some good field positioning for his defense to set up and try to keep the field position game in front. If you're a long snapper, throwing it way to the right is not what you want to do. You want to get it right into the breadbasket of your punter so he can get an easy kickoff, so he doesn't possibly get tackled.
Yeah, especially if he's right foot dominant, you don't want to do such a thing.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, sorry.
Come on, man. You know what? We'll be critiquing the punting skills of these players just a bit more, especially when it comes down to kicking their opponent on the ground, as I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing some executions here soon. DeToX first blood, traded out by Fearzly, and F&I will get 1 kill away from getting their 4th round, I believe, in a row. Yes, it is. They have control in this map currently, and what's making them so successful right now, Colin? What are they doing right that they was not doing right in the first 3 rounds?
DeToX misses that second shot, which makes it a 4v2 on the map. So that round kind of comes down to DeToX missing that second shot. Outside of that, the 3 rounds that they won prior to that, it really boils down to they stopped feeding DeToX at that mid-bridge. Every time DeToX got that opening kill onto Xploidz or onto Toti, it gave him an early advantage. It gave him the chance to kind of get back into it. Full red on Dyslexic. They're going to get a full red onto Xploidz. The long-range nade does not come through. Even though DeToX was the one getting the downs of the Lancers as well. They know where everybody is mounted up at over there, by the way. They see all 4 players. They got to have all the intel. This is going to be a good setup because now they got to play back into Rise.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to play into Rise's hand with them having mid-bridge control, shot grenade control, nade control. So even with just having that utility, if time ran out and you just had to worry about the center hill, frags and shocks will be a lot more powerful than the few shots of turbo that their opponent's going to have, especially as you see Xploidz Xploidz using most majority of these bow shots now. He has to connect, but they will finally be able to put together a play and find a kill on this map. So they do have the man advantage, and they can wait for this last hill if they want, but they know it's execution. They got power weapons, they got numbers, they have to find these kills. Also, it'd be nice for them to bait their opponent's util out now before this last ring comes up.
DeToX trying to go for these back A's here on the Fearzly. Hits 2 good shots and the 3rd one comes through. Beautiful job there. Now you see the repositioning through the front side of the mid-bridge. Xploidz tries to get that torque bow shot onto him. Toti is going to be a little red, a little hurt. Avexys still trying to rotate back. Now you see Avexys trying to pump back behind that cover, trying to bait him in. 2 big shots over the top. Is not going to be able to get that down just yet. I love the aggression, though, by the side of Rise. They keep playing back into these fights. It's going to be a 2v2. 5 seconds to go before the hill starts to cap. Toti is down. Big brick out of DeToX. Oh, double knife. Was that a double knife? Yo,
Is
that man had
in the lobby?
Yo, my man, you said Zoro. I'm going with Machete out here. My man, Danny Trejo. He is just letting people have it left and right if he's out here with that big of a knife. Let me see it again.
Zoro in the lobby. DeToX with the slash and a double kill. Wow, I have never seen anything like that in my Gears of War career, folks. We're all tied up 4-4 as we head here in this round number 9. DeToX, he's filling himself in. He's feeling a little bit of magic as well. Now currently has mid-bridge control, gets his teammate towards the sandbag. Lancer Fire coming in and force fire, nice forward. They're close enough for the revives, but I love the play for the pinch down low, and it works out for them well. Fire Nice playing to their guns. That Wolfpack play style locks in round number 9.
That was a beautiful round by Fire and Ice. They knew that they lost the positioning early in the mid-bridge, so they just full sended. They said, let's go back connector. Let's go through the bottom middle of the map. Let's try to get in behind the two players of Rise. They end up getting a perfect pinch. A couple of kills come through. All over with the crying. Icy tries to slide in. Last but not least, it gets taken down. Now you see into round number 10. Fire and Ice on map point here, trying to go up 2-0 over Rise. See if they feed back into DeToX. Flashes out. DeToX will get lancered up heavy, peppered up. He tries to go for that little back roll shot. Couple of pellets out over the top. Throws his flash. Now going to throw a nade off this back connector. I think this is a smart nade here. He tries to bank it off the backside. There it is. There's the first kill. Throws the second one a little bit late there to try to get Xploidz. Icy answers back 4-2. They're going to go to a round 11 if they can get 2 more kills here.
That Torque blowing it back, the splash damage almost caught a player, but this is Rise's round to win. Xploidz, 4 shots left in the tank, has Fearzly to have his back, and Fearzly, actually Xploidz did get the shot grenade, so if he's able to get a Torque bow kill, having that shot grenade could put him and Fearzly at an advantage. Avexys is going to back up and get his, but this is where they need to be careful and start talking about strategy at the late game. They need to start asking themselves, where's the neutral hill going to respawn and how can we set up around that now? Also, by just even rotating around the map with the clock currently as it is, they can get some of these players to poke up out of cover, peek up, possibly get Fearzly a few shots, but they will have an objective to play around to be able to use these power weapons in which they have. And if they can do that in a creative way, they may be able to take this map and go up at a 2-0 lead, but that's a tall task, folks. And Rise is still at full power. They got a shock, and they just got a shock. No frag grenade, so that goes into the F&I favor.
Lloyd's top side, that bow in hand. 4 bolts left. 1 for each of the players on Rise.
Oh, whoa, this is perfect for Fire Nice.
I think you send 1 player to challenge Xploidz. You got to tag him up. You got to keep him off of his mark. And now you see the mark out. The shock. Okay, their shock was a little long. It does hit some splash damage on the other side. Full red is Xploidz inside the hill, trying to tap this up. Beautiful job there to get that kill. Finish off everybody. Round number 11 coming down the pipeline. 5-5 on map point for both teams. Rise needed to tie it up 1-1.
Man, DeToX, 15 kills, 2 assists to his name. Toti leading the kill feed for Fire Nice with 9 kills and 2 to his. It comes down to this round, folks. It is a round 11. Hold your breath, all right? Because we do not know who's going to come out victorious in this one. It's about to be a banger at the front of the mid-bridge. DeToX looking to dodge some flashes, but he didn't take his time to go up just yet. He will throw the counter flash, taking a lot of damage, is able to get the frag grenades, and at this moment, Rise has an advantage, but here comes the bang down low. He's able to put some damage out. Rise, the Lancer fire through the smoke. They were waiting for it. Here comes the second nade. And just a double down comes through. The third comes in a frame, and you will see Rise be able to clean up the kills 1 by 1. It is a 2v4 for Fearzly and Dyslexic. Can they do it? I don't think they can. Fearzly goes down, and Dyslexic left by his lonesome in the corner. Rise surrounding him. He's bouncing frantically. He don't know what to do with his life and just passes out. Rise gets this series all tied up 1-1.
Rise with a perfect answer back. An execution. They are giving the no out. 17 kills to DeToX's name. We will find out who wins this right after this quick commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Pro League Split 3 Phase 1 Day 6. I'm Blaze. Colin is joining me today as well. And so far, to kick it off, man, both of our series, we have been tied up 1-1 as we head into our first Escalation map, and they have not disappointed whatsoever. Coming over here towards Canals, map number 2, it was the side of Rise who got off to a 3-round lead before F&I came back, but ultimately it was Rise who had the composure to close out the map in the round 11. Colin, we're heading here into Escalation soon, all tied up. It's training grounds. Who are you kind of leaning more in favor towards?
Well, I like that you asked me that because I did have a question for you, but I'll give you my opinion. I think Fire and Ice have to have a little bit of a leg up because they were the team that stayed together after the last major that was completely Escalation specific, completely Escalation heavy. So you kind of have to favor them. I think that changes if the big team fight at the back of the U goes way of Rise early, and now you see Rise kind of playing through the middle of the map. They have to win these initials over here. They have to be able to get Fire and Ice to play into a CQC fight down there, because I think if you don't, you give up a lot of positioning over to the side of Fire and Ice, allowing them to rotate around the map however they please.
Yeah, you know, in these key battles off the start is going to be something that's super, that's going to be super important for them, because you don't want F&I to be able to run freely around a map and have that type of range. Now, we do see them on top of multiple hills to kick this one off, but it's Rise who was able to overextend towards Fire and Ice's side of the map, get their home hill decapped and capped up back in their favor. So in this moment, Rise, they still need to keep control of it, and they'll be okay for now, clean up that kill on Xploidz. But their opponent, man, you know, they're still just, they're running around here everywhere as they're trying to double back towards their side of the map, get some control. F&I, they've pretty much had a footing on this entire B hill side of the map in both heavens, and that's why we're kind of seeing the engagements in which we are on top of Rise's home hill.
Yeah, Rise is having to worry about 2 more players here. They die over at the home hill of Fire and Ice and up over the 225-point selector now. Fire and Ice is going to start getting that win condition to be set out in their name. You see them now pressuring across the home-to-home split. They need to get out of this position because Ice is going to get Lancer in the back quite quickly, quite succinctly. Beautiful job there by Xploidz, helping his teammate out. A few more kills come through for Fire and Ice. They are definitely dominating this first round. I know it's not in the point selector, but they really have never been out of position to win this round thus far. Getting the B hill back in their favor here momentarily. Xploidz with a wrap shot after the first body will get that kill. Now bouncing around, trying to save his life for as long as he can. Shot over the cover, gets the kill on Icy. One more to worry about to try to solidify this triple cap domination. Fire and Ice strike first at Escalation.
Yeah, they look really comfortable towards the back portions of that round hill. Throughout the entirety, they felt comfortable. They were able to win the fight at B. They overextended towards their opponent's home hill. They recognized that most of Rise was on their side of the map, so as players kept respawning, they just kept contesting Rise's home hill, because they knew that if they did that, it will force Rise to break their own setup, especially as they were winning multiple fights on that side. They did that. They got control back of their home hill, and then they were able to slowly push up and dominate Rise there in that round. So we will see an early shock grenade being placed down by the boys of Rise. And when it comes down to Escalation, you know, any center line power weapon, you cannot build up on your secondaries, folks. So that's Rise's counter placement there to make sure that they don't have to deal with 2 shot grenades here in the map.
I like that play. I really love to see it make more prominence out here. Big team fight over the top of the back of the U. And I said earlier that Rise needed to win these fights to be able to control the pacing, trading out back and forth. One more player to worry about. That's the win there that Rise needed. They will get the home-to-home stretch, and they're going to have the 3 kills. Fearzly will have the down on Rushiez opposite side. Blaze, I'm sorry to say this, but last split we saw Rushiez get torched on the B side of the map. They took him out of it and put him at the front spawn position, going to the back U. And now with DeToX added into the mix, they put Rushiez back into the 1v1 over at B, and he's getting tortured again. I just don't know what the answer is at this point. Do you put a more defensive player over there? Do you put somebody like Icy over there that might play it a little slower, might play it a little more defensively, giving you an advantage, giving you a little bit of time and spacing?
I think you need the vet in a team fight, because if it's one thing that whenever I had to play with, I would just say players that don't have as much experience as I do, if the team fight is being lost, sometimes they don't have an answer to why it's being lost. And with Rise losing Fran, I think Icy needs to be in that fight, because sometimes a battle is lost just because a flash or a smoke was botched. It's something completely simple, but sometimes players don't have answers for some of the simplest questions, and that's where your vets come into play, because they've been in those scenarios a lot of times, and they have a better eye on seeing what's wrong. So Avexys and DeToX and Icy, I think, is a great combo, but Rushiez was one of our best individual slayers that we had in our league throughout Gears 4, and he won multiple events to kick off Gears 5, so he should have no issues in that position. He just needs to play it his way with as much confidence as he possibly can and force his opponents to play into his hand. And remember that he is Rushiez, and he has some of the best movement in the game.
I don't want to say something ignorant here, Blaze, but right there at the end, Icy had a 1v1 over the mid box at B, and I'm just saying he won it. So I'm not trying to be ignorant out here, but I'm being ignorant right now. Put the man in the fight.
Keep him there, right? And that's why, and you know, when it comes down to the power weapons that these players fight for, also, I do want Icy on that side of the map to be able to get his hands on it. You get him there at Overlook, you get him in one of those power positions, he's going to work it flawlessly, just playing his distance, playing his Lancer damage, and making it as hard as possible for his opponent to retake certain positions on the map. It's just in his DNA with so many rounds of Gears of War that he's played so far. And we're seeing the strategy from both these teams of putting all the power weapons down center line and Escalation. Wow, who would have thought, folks? It just took a group of amazing girl gamers and control and execution to come back, plus to see the meta change in Escalation finally. Whoa! And Dyslexic says, boy, you better back up. You ain't answering me today.
Good God. I'm like in awe. That was a double bounce. I think it might have been a reaction shot headshot. I mean, that was ungodly how good that was. I do want to give a quick shout out. As you mentioned, we have that you talk about how the meta has changed after we saw the ladies kind of go through the Escalation tournament, really put that meta out there and try to make things very interesting for everybody to deal with. Just in case you all don't know, Saturday, July 3rd, $5,000 in prizing. Gears Esports is going to be holding another female-only Gears Esports tournament. So make sure you're there to watch the fabulous women of Gears Esports take their chance under the bright lights on the big stage and possibly see a repeat defense of their championship by UYU Divinity.
You don't want to miss out on that one, folks. I will be there, and I'm hoping to see you guys all in the chat rooting out for your favorite team. Show the support for the ladies. But coming back to this matchup here, you will see the team fight be won by Rise. They were able to break through the Overlook and get towards their opponent's home hill. They win the fight once again, and now they can hold the home hill setup. So they're not worried too much about the B hill right now, but they need to know that they're going to have to strike on the B hill at some point. They don't mind their teammates fighting a 2v2 fight to control this, but they have to be worried about that third member rotating over, and how do they want to help? Well, Rise rotates the third member over first, and so that gives Fire and Ice the early rotation and the confidence to move over now. But with player 6 at the top of the Overlook, did he make it in time? I actually think he did when it comes down to getting the Lancer angle to help Rise hold this position. He's able to help his team win that fight. Multiple members of Fire and Ice give up the B hill, but that's only so that they can rotate over to C and force Rise to break this setup themselves.
See Toti here waiting in the wings. He's going to go for the back A. Good double shot down and kill by Avexys to continue to try to hold court here at the home hill of Fire and Ice. Icy here with him as well, trying to prevent that triple cap domination. Rise have won their home hill back, and they continue to hold the home hill of Fire and Ice. Fearzly will bounce around, incendiary out, won't find anybody, throws another one. Icy, Avexys now having to kind of play that a little bit slowly, but hits two big shots. Triple cap domination ticking on through, but Rise has a lot of momentum. They end up finishing it off. Beautiful round there. 2 rounds in a row for Rise.
Man, he broke that player's ankles with those incendiary grenades. They were both tossed wide left, nowhere near Avexys, and it just came down to the fakes in his movement. He knew his opponent was reading exactly what he was doing, so he kind of played into his hand there and got himself close enough to get the kill and get a little bit of help there as well. So Rise, they lock in round number 3. But with all these center line weapon placements being put down so early, yes, we got DeToX down, but in this moment, how viable is those secondaries going to be? If you can get a Retro Lancer, you take it, folks, all right? So F&I is going to make sure they can level that one up. But as far as centerline weapon placements throughout the map, I think we're good on what we got. You may see some upgrades, but other than that, you know, it comes down to who has these better initials when it comes down to the snipe fight up top. And currently we see F&I, they will send 3 members towards the back. A flank is coming through from Rise. They don't get the incendiary grenades to give up their position, but that player actually rotates back up top to help each other out. So it's an even 3v3 fight, but Avexys is going to break ice, picks up one. Rushiez wins his 1v1 down low. And this is all Rise. This could be a trip cap domination for him quickly, but we'll see how fast they can get on over towards the Sea Hill.
Pushing across, Xploidz is going to go for the flash shot. Icy with the snipe in hand, trying to come up on the backside. Misses a little cubby corner shot there. Hits the beautiful shot to get it down. The misroll from Fearzly almost gets him into the face of Icy, but a beautiful shot by him will set him down as well. 3 down and dead. Rise now on the home hill of Fire and Ice, looking to make it 3-1 going into the second half. There's the flash, no dash. They get killed off. Beautiful job, ladies and gentlemen, thus far by Rise in this first half to find the answers after some very, how I would put it, progressive weapon placements in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and they're very progressive indeed. You know, they're making a map as simple as they possibly can. And over these last 3 rounds, they have done a great job winning this overlook fight majority of the time, because we've seen them overextend towards their opponent's home hill multiple times. They've had the overlook control, and you know, Rushiez has been winning his 1v1s down low as well, at least these last 2 rounds, yes. So weapons on the map, a little bit of utility in these secondary positions. The heals will flip, so the neutral heal will be on top of the snipe. I just think it makes that defensive setup that much easier for some of these squads. But as I say that, you can't forget about the home hill setups going from D to F. Snipe picked up for Fire and Ice. They're going to back up with that one. And Avexys will get the incendiary grenades.
Flash out onto Xploidz. He has to roll back. Toti continues to have to move out. Big shot out by Xploidz. Just barely misses the head, but gets a lot of body damage there. Into the E hill. The decap will come through. If they retake it, I think you just sit down. You just settle your tea kettle. You try to get these points back in your favor for a hot minute before you press up on that snipe. Beautiful kill, though. Will continue to make life hard on the different members of Fire and Ice. You see Rise actually pressuring up toward the home hill of Fire and Ice as well. Now the Lancer's out. Beautiful job. Dyslexic is going to have full shots onto Avexys. That's a down in the backside, which now forces them to rotate back for the revive. They've got a 2v1 in the back cubby corner. Toti will go down. What a fantastic overtake. What a just overwhelm, overrun. Shout out Gears 3, overrun. What a beautiful overrun round by Rise. They're playing as the Swarm and the Locust, right?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? You have no idea.
I do. Gears Judgment overrun. Classic Swarm and Locust. Well, you said Locust. They are playing as the Locust, right?
They're playing as Swarm and Locust, technically.
Yeah, true. They are. I think got a mixture of both.
So I don't want to say that. I don't want to be definitive in
Colin,
that
I will not trump what you say when it comes down to lore. So I'm being guided by you on this one, okay? Is it or is it not? Well, we'll find out when
I'll
it
wait
comes
to
out
see
the
as soon as I see the characters pop up. I'll tell you.
A little mixture of the both. Was Swarm and Locust characters in Judgment? It wasn't. Judgment was
no. Judgment just had Locust, and it had Overrun where you played as the Locust. But I was talking about their actual genetic makeup right now on the team. No, they're all Locust. So yeah, it's Overrun. Beautiful Overrun round by Rise. They've got Karn from the Locust. They got the Bolter from the Locust. Blacksteel Savage Cantus from the Locust, and Mirror the Queen of the Locust. You got it. They're all there. They're all hopping and partying. Oh, what an incendiary!
And they will be set ablaze there as both those kills come through. You got Fire and Ice looking to have a round equally as quick as Rise on a round before. But that kill coming in from Fearzly, the home hill will get capped up. He has the angle. The Retro Lancer's putting out a lot of damage to help out his teammates. But DeToX got that kill on Dyslexic. And that opens the door for Rise to be able to make some plays on this side of map. Player 1 has to cross at the bottom of the stairs. Fire and Ice will not give up their position. Currently, they're just going to hold what they got. Rise being there for each other on the revives. I think they're going to back up Fire and Ice, and if they got all 4 members alive, F&I needs to get a few kills here if they want to move in for this domination.
Here we go. Boyd's still trying to make something happen with that sniper, but just the pressure, by Rise has just been too much for him to overtake right now.
He gives it up.
Never stood a chance.
He didn't give it up. He didn't find it on the ground. Now Avexys will get the kill for the home hill, and Rise got 2 hills to their name. Yeah, finally. So win condition will flip back over in their favor, but we still got a lot of gears to play in the first half of this round. We do already have Fire and Ice breaking that 100-point marker, so kind of entering the mid portions of it now as F&I coming off the respawn, stacking most of their numbers towards the Overlook side. They do got a player under that they don't know. Dyslexic secret manning in his position, playing his camera angle very well. Connects with a great spread. Caught his opponent off guard. Now behind enemy lines, he gets a double. Trying to back up from the third, looking for help. Found the fourth. The call outs are there. And now F&I, what can they do with the intel and the kills coming through from Dyslexic? So far, so good. Capping up the neutral hill. I think that's all they're going to play for now.
Well, they know they can get the positioning with that hill back in their favor. Rushiez is going to try to find somebody slipping. He's not going to find anybody at the top of those stairs. He's going to possibly go for a flank here. Flashbang across the backside. They know that all 4 players were trapped over the E-hill, so that gives them the ability to set up home to home. Rushiez might see Xploidz trying to rotate over there, but they don't go for that kill just yet. See Dyslexic still mounted up at the top of the Overlook. Shocks in the hand of Icy.
And currently, F&I, they went off of 1, but the flank that came through from Rushiez walks right through the front door and gets the decap. And now the whole map got flipped upside down because I don't think they went off of 1 anymore. They need to get their home hill back. So Rise just needs to be defensive at both of these home hills when it comes down towards F and D. But Xploidz is able to get his back, and that could be what his squad needed. That 1 kill. And as long as they do not give up the E-hill decap, they got the decap on Rises. That's the round for F9. They got everything done in the end, but it got scary for him, Colin. And we'll see if F9 can come back and get this one all tied up. We've already saw 1 4-1 lead blown for the night. We'll see if we see another one.
Definitely a beautiful round by Fire and Ice. I love the retake in the middle of the round. Rushiez goes for kind of it's the suicide. He knew he was going to die. There's no way, after you get that kill, with everybody knowing where you are, there's just about no way you can get another kill, maybe even a second or whatever in that situation. You'll get the decap. If he'd have gotten lucky and gotten the chunk over the top of the hill, that would have been basically a miracle and would have made it almost impossible. Xploidz holding on to that incendiary for as long as he did after picking him up under the Overlook to be able to get that kill, that easy just chunk there. I say chunk, but the easy just one-hit quitta at the uplink. That's what really turns that round back on its favor. Again, players never always kind of overestimate just how precious those utilities can be. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, because some defenses, man, have so many holes in them, so many gaps. But, players at this level always find a way to try to get through. We love breaking down those plays, but to break down some of the plays that we're kicking off this round with, you see kills coming in for both squads. It's a man advantage for Fire and Ice on the map. Momentarily, it was. They will be able to get this E-hill. They've lost their home hill because Rushiez been playing with a lot of confidence on that side. He's won that 1v1 more times than not during his map, Colin. And Rise is doing a good job playing off his aggression. It's opening up a lot of lanes for him, and the next lane that needs to be open is one towards Overlook, but the double headshots come out, and Fire and Ice feeling pretty spicy in this moment.
I love the fact that Rushiez is starting to put a lot of pressure on that side of the map. The problem is that sniper now 2 rounds in a row has kind of been the determining factor on how this initial goes, because Xploidz. Yeah, I know you got 4 extra. You got 3 more shots, bro.
You're the best sniper in the game. You take those.
Hey. That's a lack of confidence.
You want the title?
Call him out. Call him out.
You want the title? Oh, switch the camera. Switch the camera.
No.
We don't want to do this to him, okay?
Oh, no.
He's making Ryan look crazy right now, okay? And I actually think Ryan was right when it came down to it. Xploidz hit some shots with the scope. But all jokes aside, his shot is out, and he will hold the line. Still got 2 shots to work with on his back. And so far, Rise is waiting for their teammate to come off the respawn. They cannot break in here with 2 players. Well, they can't break in with 1 either. They're going to have to wait for a full reset. And as that's happening, F and I are going to continue to just rack up points on the scoreboard. And they're very patient for this next push coming out for Rise.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's probably my favorite thing in this game. Like, one of my favorite things is to watch somebody holding the cover and then just see, like, out of a third person view and incendiary just
a random nade.
Nade out.
That's probably my favorite one. Nade out. Oh man. Well, the initial came out here for Rise, and it's not really an initial. This is about our 4th team fight in the round. They wasn't able to kind of break. They wasn't able to break through a setup of Fire and Ice. They knew that the way that those kills were staggered in the late game. You just got a few players sitting on their side of the map. They're already talking about next, because at this level and how Fire and Ice was set up, they knew they didn't have a chance in hell at coming back in that round. So F&I, 2 more rounds remaining to see if they can make the comeback happen. And F&I can feel Rise's fear in this moment. They could probably smell it as well. So if they continue to win these initials, it's going to get scarier for Rise.
I don't care if you give up home to home. Go full force after the snipe. Take it away from Xploidz.
I think you have to. Even if you give up the flank, you just have to be watching the kill feed, the notification feed, and see if nades get picked up. If they get picked up, just, you know, spread out, look for that guy, you know, try to get a height advantage, you know. But other than that, I agree with you. They have to get a man advantage and also get the sniper off the start. Overload that side. We'll see if it works out for them, if that's the strategy. We'll know about 4 seconds here. As you see both squads coming out. F&I not sitting 4. Neither squad will. It will be a 3v3 team fight. Rushiez has the angles down low, but don't worry about that fight. On screen, it's Icy, runs right through Xploidz. Just trucks him one good time and catches Toti on the rotation. Talk about a highlight player. And on the flip end, you see Fearzly, he wins his 1v1, but my God, that initial from Icy.
Hi, my name is Icy, and I hit those.
Simple. Okay?
I mean, his resume might be one of the longest in the historical standpoint of our game. But at the very top of his resume, right underneath name, when you look for like basic skills that somebody can put on a resume, Icy's first basic skill, shot hitter. Man will put a body shot on.
They the same, no. I was gonna say marksman.
Ooh, he went for the scope. He went for the heady. I like that. He had the bloodlust.
Oh, and he's gonna be able to revive his teammate as well. I agree with you. It's shot hitter, marksman, don't miss. See me 1v1, kid. Hire me. That's it, right there. Okay, his resume. And you know what? I think it's a
USA
one
shorts,
at that.
right? American flag shorts.
Yeah.
Can't make that. Can't make that mistake. Can't make that.
For it.
Can't
what is
do
this?
that.
Gears 3?
Do it again.
Gears 3? Okay.
One more time.
Am I watching Notorious or Rise Nation on my screen? The way he's hitting these shots, damn. Rise feeling good, and we talked about the marksman potential when it comes down to every player on the squad. They don't need to think too hard about who gets the weapon. You know, just everybody, whoever's close enough to it, it's your time to shine, because you know they come far and in between with this roster. Everybody's so damn good. But as we come to this fight, we've been hyping Rise up a lot, but they will lose a player here in this engagement. And at this moment, with Fire and Ice having a man advantage, if they win these next 2 battles, they got a player towards the back. They can cross and angle them out. Icy can't survive. The neutral hill goes in favor of Fire and Ice. And now it comes down to one final battle on a home hill. But I don't know if they can get any of these kills in time, because they won't have the win condition. Player 1 is in Narnia. He's not even thinking about the win currently. And in this moment, Rise with the Retro Lancer in hand, I think they're okay to win this map.
Definitely a fantastic round for Rise to finish it off. They are going to win this 5-3, as there's not enough time to get anywhere. Toti giving a little emote right there, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to set anybody on tilt. All it's going to do is send us to a map number 4 with Rise up 2-1. We will head back to control to see if Rise can settle this out, or Fire and Ice can fire back and take us to an execution map 5.
And it's going to be a spicy control indeed, folks. We're going to not just any control, it's district control. And you know, I think one of these 2 squads may be better than the other. We'll talk about just in a second on who that is. But as we kind of just go back onto this escalation map and recap it all, we saw some interesting things here. And number one was the building out of the center line weapons within the first 3 rounds. These squads knew what they wanted to play for. They're so used to playing for center line weapons on control and execution now, where they have strategies built around it, and they want to use those strategies. They say, you know what? You guys can't build up shot grenades and flames on your secondaries, so let's just start putting the weapons in which we want down center map now. And I think it's going to just evolve more into that as time goes on. And I don't see why not, especially if the shot grenade is going to be a center line placement off the start asking yourself, if you want M bars, drop shots, long shots, boom shots, frag grenades, whatever you want, choose it, get it on the map, and build some strategies around it.
Yeah, and I think that's what people have to start realizing is when the meta is so lopsided in one favor or the other, nobody's necessarily experimenting. And now you see with Escalation only being 1 map, even if you're up 2-0, go ahead and experiment. Let them have it. Let loose the dogs of hell and cry chaos type situation. Figure out what you can do with and make somebody uncomfortable, make it a situation that they might not be used to, and you won't be able to get, or you'll be able to get more rounds than not because you just put people in a situation they've never seen before, and that certainly makes life that much harder for anybody. Also, these shots by Ice just
so clean, Colin.
As the kids would say, is this one of those moments where it's a sheesh?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Sheesh.
And damn kid, you damn boy, I tell you.
Boy, man, you know what? They just don't stop, okay? And Icy, he ain't a kid no more, man. But that shot is looking mighty young, all right? Rise with a 2-1 lead. We're heading over towards district control. And when it comes down to this map, both of these teams have only played it once. Rise lost it towards, I want to say, yeah. Rise lost this one towards, actually, I want to see it. Yeah, Rise lost it a while back. We'll see what it is on the stats here because I do want to look at it to see when the last time that they did play it. I was kind of looking at Hive stats there to kick it off. There we go. Control. Rise have not, yeah, they played it against Hive and they won it. They won it 300-53 against Hive. Then Fire Nice also played District Control and they took it 300-192 against Digital Gaming. So I think one of these squads had a little bit harder opponent than the other. But, Digital Gaming also takes control maps off of E United. So you can never count those boys out. They will steal a map away from you if you do get caught sleeping. Now, I said earlier, I did feel like one of these teams this map was favored more for them than the other. And I was talking about Rise. Historically, I feel like Rise has been a great district team no matter what game mode that they play it on. And we've seen how good they looked on this map beforehand. It's going to be hard for F&I to come back in this one. And if F&I do want to get an early lead against Rise, what exactly do they need to do, Colin?
Well, I think they need to use their CQC, get a guy like Dyslexic into the cinema, get a guy like Dyslexic into the hills to be kind of that last line of defense where if somebody pushes up onto a wall trying to go for a neutralization, you can have faith in that guy to get those kills. It's a lot like how a lot of times you'll see E United play with powers in the hill and have Praised, Kenny, and Explosive kind of play around that. They're going to set up around that 1v player because they know how good he can be with the shotgun out. And if they're not going to get swarmed, if it's not 4 players coming in the same hallway, you kind of expect Dyslexic to hit a body shot here, get a full spread there, maybe a quick chunk. But with you having Lancer Fire, you make it all one-shot range. So I expect to see Fire and Ice early in this map, maybe put Dyslexic in the hill by his lonesome, especially in cinema, especially in the bottom corner, or the top corners, and force the side of Rise to play into Dyslexic.
And if they do that, he's going to, like you say, he's going to need some of that support fire in the back. And I'm looking at Toti for that one. But if he does have just a little bit of extra Lancer fire to like you said, make one of those kills, make each one of those kills one shot potential. Put 5% of damage on each one of them, 5% to 10% of damage on those players. That way, when he's hitting for 90s, 91s, 92s, he's being super effective. And that's really where support players earn their values in their team fights, knowing the right players to shoot and focus on for their slayers as they get into their battles. So Toti is great when it comes down to target selection like that. And that sounds like a winning strategy for F&I because, you're going to have players like Dyslexic and Xploidz. I feel like Dyslexic takes a lot of ownership towards the cinema side of the map, and Xploidz takes a lot of ownership towards Bandstand. So I'm expecting both of them to really just continue to have a presence in the respective sides of the map. If they want to get a leg out here on Rise, because this Rise team, man, they're really good at control, and probably one of the best, if not the best, district control team that we may have in the league.
I think Rise's best bet early in this map. I'd love to see them go for a mid lane strat, try to get control of the boom, maybe even download the extra power weapon at the bottom of the map, and then use those to retake that cinema side, because you know the hill spawns there first. You know that's where you're playing at most likely off the initial. Play toward the boom. You let them take cinema, and then use the rocket, use the positioning to come down into the cinema and really make sure you get that good retake on that first hill so that you don't give up the 40, 50, 60 points, whatever it might be, over to the side of the Fire and Ice. And Blaze, real quick, I know you might want to preach on it to all those out there that don't have the example set for them. I actually did your challenge, by the way, which is what I'm about to ask you about. Have you done your own challenge? I went into a control map. I was playing with Kenny Bounce.
Okay.
I ran out of Lancer 4 out of the 5 lives I was alive. The only time I didn't run out of Lancer was the last life I was alive on. We won the map. But I would run out of ammo. Kenny would run over to me and give me all of his ammo, or just drop his Lancer at my feet, and I'd pick up his ammo. But I ran out of Lancer ammo crossing from my team the entire map just to see how it worked.
You're
just
annoying.
to see what would happen. It was the most. I'm
what was
sure.
The outcome? How dominant was you guys' performance when you were just being the best teammate that you could possibly be, anchoring and just applying pressure to certain choke points?
When you have a guy like Kenny on your team, also slaying out unbelievably everywhere on the map. It was on Asylum. We ended up winning it by about 190 points.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. As somebody who's played a lot with Kenny, he will make you a lazy player, because it gets so comfortable just lancering for him, and you just see the kill feed light up, and it's just like, I don't got to do a damn thing right here. Okay,
that's why I knew I could do it, because I knew how to block off.
I see y'all at 7:05.
We would block off. We'd block off. He basically showed me how to block off the close spawn. He said, if you sit here when we're on this hill, you'll block off the close spawn. It'll force them to spawn out. You sit here when we're on this spot, so on and so forth. He kind of showed me the nerdy angle, showed me the ropes. So I spent that whole map blocking close and lancering for Kenny. And I kept thinking to myself, I said, man, Blaze is somewhere probably like, how many bullets has he shot in one game?
How much Lancer fire has he went through? I wish we had those numbers and many other numbers out there, Colin, but we work with what we got. But the numbers on your screen is Rise with a 2-1 lead in this map. Currently, both squads trade down kills, but when it comes down towards the drop shot, it will be in the hands of Fire and Ice. But they got to get out safely. They got to win these battles, and they're going to do just that.
Also, Rise lost both of the initial fights. They didn't win the boom. They didn't win the hill. They lost everything around the entire map.
See, and that's not gonna be good for them, especially right here in this moment. They need to ask themselves how long is it gonna take them to engage in this battle. Only one player was at the hill. They're all moving up a little bit closer, but while it's still early, you want your opponent to use the boom shot and use their nades. You have to force this out. There's the boom shot. Now, if they can get them to use their extra utility grenades that they may have, and as I'm looking at the screen, I think Xploidz may still have those incendiary grenades to work with. I love this play from DeToX. He goes so deep. Everybody becomes kind of non-factors on that side of the map, and his team will be able to get set up around Arcade and get some decent positioning as he's coming off respawn.
I mean, that was beautiful. He went deep as the Abyss all the way back there to try to pull everybody off of the hill, but ends up not getting anything to go for it, and they're still kind of losing members around the map right now. Avexys has to kind of come away with a kill here, somewhere, anywhere, possibly. Continuing to stay there for the neutralization, keeping the hill from garnering points for Fire and Ice. Anybody, that fourth player from Fire and Ice needs to get up into the juice right now and make life horrible for everybody on Rise. There he goes. He finally gets up there. They finally pick up a kill. They might get some points back into this, but this is a definitively huge advantage early on for Fire and Ice because they keep racking up kills, and it gives them a chance to push back into the hill.
And Toti finally did get this juice control. And so he'll have some Lancer Fire for his team. Got both downs just at the nick of time. Gonna body block Rushiez out of the hill. He takes his own life. And the last member was Avexys. So that's a squad wipe. But look what they're spawning. They're still back for Gola based off the positioning that Fire Knights have. But I think F&I, they don't mind this. Dyslexic, he cuts him off. That's a beautiful angle. And now he traps Rushiez. And it's nothing he could do about that. That's called working smarter, not harder. He didn't run straight at him. He took the angle. He knew what Rushiez's objective was. And now that put him in position to get 2 kills. Beautiful rotations from F&I. All members down from Fire Knights. And you will already have player 3 rotating towards ATM to get set up.
Now we see Fearzly still inside the juice. Beautiful boom to get the double kill there. The next kill is going to be top left. Yeah, oh, it's definitely worth it. It forces them to spawn out one more time. Now you can be fully set up across the map and be able to get... You'll be able to set up across the map and be able to force Rise to run through your Lancers.
I think you're absolutely right on that one. Yeah, get those 2 kills, because look at the setup here of the map. You play with fire with that boom, you may not see another double kill look like that whatsoever, but it was able to help his team get comfortable, help them get set up where they wanted to. They're not able to get that kill, and Toti will lose his life. So a main advantage for Rise in this moment. We'll see what they could do with it, as they do have 2 players in the spawn here in Juice, one incendiary grenade in hand. He blocks off any aggression from the right. The kick back slap, get off me, says Rushiez. Now he will be in a position to just kind of lock down this Juice area of the map and help his teammates clean up the remaining kills in the spawn. And with it all being over at this moment, what a great retake from Rise on that setup from Fire Knights.
You see the setup.
I wish they had a boom shot.
Well, they probably wish they had about 40 more points to try to make it 118 to 80 or so to try to really cut into this lead. They need to hold on to the trash time now. It's going to come down here to bottom bandstand. Beautiful 2-shot down by Icy. Now playing up onto that next player. Dyslexic is going to get the shot onto him, but the incendiary out by Icy, trapping that corner player in the corner onto Toti, get the kill. Dyslexic is going to be backside behind the cubby, waiting for anybody to push up. Now you see him pulling back into the fight, full red. The incendiary will stop him from getting into the fight. Damn near goes down. I believe he was down to under about 15% in that situation. 1 or 2 more bullets could have very well gotten the kill on him. You see Rushiez trying to pull up onto him. Beautiful movement by Dyslexic. Gets the down after the melee. Now it's up to Icy to try to get one. He's going to finish that kill off. Now he's into the hill. They need the fight over the top to really start to help them out. Back ace from Icy, not going to be enough in this situation. The Lancer Fire from the backside will get him down. Get the kill, secure the hill. Now Rushiez, I believe, alongside of Avexys, have their next play at this hill, but he's going to go down, and that's going to open things wide up for Fire Knights to continue to hold court.
All right, F&I, as they are holding that bottom courtyard right outside of bandstand, they're racking up a lot of points on his hill. They got it down on Avexys. They're going to time him out. They pick up a kill on Juice, and with the other 2 members of Rise kind of rotating through the spawn, you can at least add 20 more points to that score that Fire Knights just kind of work towards with those 2 kills they picked up. And with their current setup, if Rise cannot take Dyslexic out of this Juice position, just then Rise, them get into this hill is null and void. It's not going to be looking good for them. So I think they're just going to set up around Pergola. They're already thinking about next. With player 7 and 5 at the spawn, and with player 8 getting a kill from this side of the map, if he stays alive, that would have been some great positioning for Rise, but instead, he's going to spawn up with his squad mates, and he's just going to have to help them defend the spawn, or defend the hill from the spawn.
Right here is a pretty interesting setup because you see 3 players from Fire Knights coming through the bottom. That last player all the way to the bottom has a beautiful Lancer angle all the way up the hill. Flies in, though, without any regard for his own life. That's 2 straight kills for Toti. The extra players from Rise are not close enough to really help out this retake. It's going to be up to Avexys to try to help Icy save his life, but Icy's going to go down already. And now Avexys trying to trade out 1 kill, won't be able to find one. This should be another definitive Fire and Ice hill.
Yeah, it definitely should be. You know, even though Avexys kind of died before that whole team fight started, he spawned at ATM and he had really great Lancer Fire and tried to help his squad out as much as he could, but Fire Knights knew that they had to be aggressive and take those close quarter battles. That's what got them this position. And so far, majority of the time on this hill so far, F&I doing a great job defending. We saw the boom shot come through to clean up the kill. There's the incendiary grenades to to trade out the advantage. 3v3, but Rushiez will be able to find one. Can't save out his teammate. The misroll is there. Fearzly with a beautiful spread on the third guy. His teammate is there to clean him up. And with 30 points on his heel, Fire and Ice, they're going to keep collecting off that time. Next heel is going to be rotating down low towards Bandstand.
Blaze, I don't want to say that it's already over because there's a long way to go. Still about 80 points left to pick up. But so what are you thinking about that execution map number 5? What are you...
yeah. You know what? I was thinking about it after the first rotation, to be honest with you, Kyle. I just didn't want to bring it up just yet. And, you know, when it comes down to it, Rise is just 6-1 on execution. Well, I think, no, 5-1 now in execution throughout the league. So they have the advantage, but on the flip end, they haven't played checkout execution so far in the league. So we'll see what happens there. They won Canals in a round 11 fashion. I do think it is going to be the map pick of Fire and Ice. But folks, let's bring it back and focus here on District and make sure we wrap this one up, because we've already seen Rise make one crazy comeback to kick off the league, and they could most definitely do it again now in this scenario. But F&I, look at their spread. They have all 3 lanes covered. They got a player in Juice. That flash was really creative, but you know, I guess Fire and Ice is feeling really comfortable to try some new things out. As the second one connects, the firepower is just too much for Rise, though, and multiple members of F&I have to continue to back up. They will be able to contest this heal, but Dyslexic was really sleeping right there.
That all by himself. I'm really trying to just kind of play around with the world, but I mean, 47 seconds from now, Fire and Ice tie it up 2-2. Going into that final map of execution. Dyslexic here inside of the info. You know that next hill is going to spawn back up towards the bandstand area, or excuse me, back toward that cinema area. They're fighting over this respawn boom shot. Fearzly has got a lot of shots onto him inside the Juice. Xploidz is down here. Toti's going to jump into the backside of the cinema. Beautiful double kill there by Rise. That should help them earn this initial. Beautiful first shot by Avexys. The wrap shot out from Dyslexic will find the kill. DeToX over the top, though, solidifies the early rotation on this hill. They've got 5 seconds until it rotates over here, so a few more moments before Fire and Ice to try to set up to be ready to push back into this one. And this is the first really good rotation and set of kills for Rise in this map. I don't want to say it's out of hand already, like it's too far out of hand for them to be able to come back, but it is really teetering on it. It's borderline. Rise is going to have to play. I'd say this hill and the next is going to have to be perfect. No need for that whatsoever.
Yeah, right. That's a pistol. That's the pistol scenario. If that guy wants to push through the flames, by all means, he can do just that. But you got to coordinate with your teammates there. They use 2 of their utility grenades to take care of that one player. And I think F&I got a lot of value out of that, and they know it too as well. So they're going to start moving up with about 40 points on this hill, knowing that they're fighting for the majority of the scrap time. But you see these players go through the spawn to fight these Rise members. That makes this a 2v2 fight down low. If they win those engagements in the spawn here, they'll have the scrap time and possibly have a setup on Hotel down low. But I love the pressure through the middle to make the fight as easy and simplistic as possible. Rise, they held on to that engagement, though. Great effort from Fire and Ice. For Rise, they get themselves majority of that time at Cinema. Now we have to rotate down low, and I do believe we're going to Hotel next.
Yeah, you got a good kill there by Rushiez to stop the incendiaries from being able to rotate over. Arcade is going to be a big point of interest. The meat shield pickup by Rushiez is even more important because look at all that damage. It allows him to get the down on Xploidz. Now Dyslexic is in front of him. Going to get snubbed out a lot. Will and should go down. Good 3 kills there by Rise. Once again, another beautiful early initial take on the hill by Rise. Another 70 points on the board will make it 250 to 210. A lot closer than we were probably imagining based on how we were talking a few moments ago. But it's not over by a long shot. You see of the pull-up by Toti inside of the Juice. Avexys, though, holds court with a little bit of help from the 90-degree. Avexys, don't leave the window, baby. That's your power position. What are you doing, baby?
That point blank, and so far we see another incendiary grenade used to just kind of zone out a certain area around that cover, and both have worked out very, very well for Rise, as so far throughout these last 2 hills, F&I have not been able to get a point. Oh, that kill came through. And oh, actually, they do have somebody there for the revive and a cleanup. Xploidz was where he needed to be. But now can his teammate save him as Toti? Try not to give up that left-hand angle, but Avexys was playing off of that intel that he kind of had from the down. In the end, Fire Nice is picking up some more time, and it seems like they have finally been able to take control back from Rise. And with them having such an early lead to start this map with, those 25 points are about to go a long way for them. It just puts more pressure on Rise to be perfect towards the ending of this map.
Right now, you see with a few more seconds on this one, 8 seconds to go exact. Just 8 seconds is really all I think they're going to need if they stay there to finish off this map. Excuse me, it'll be 9 seconds to go for them to finish off the map. Inside the hill is Rise. They need to have a really good stand here, and they can't allow. They need to make sure they check Avexys. I think really that setup falls apart when Avexys leaves the juice to try to go onto the flank. He ends up getting double shot down and get taken out, or double shot, and then he's full red. He pushes back up into the juice, and it's too little, too late. He can't really get safe at that point. You got to make sure your teammates understand their positioning is vital to every last possible second to go. Dyslexic with a long-range incendiary won't be able to find DeToX. They're trying to rotate onto him, trying to get pressure onto DeToX in the far back of the spawn. They push straight through the front side of the door. That's a trade comes out. Boom shot comes through. We'll find one. It's going to be up to maybe Rushiez to make a miracle happen, but Xploidz bouncing around, kills him off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fire and Ice. They melted enough in this one to come back to life and set Inferno to the hopes of Rise. They tied up 2-2. We will be going into a map 5 execution to decide our winner in our second matchup of the day right after a commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League Split 3 Phase 1 Day number 6. And I promise you, man, this was one that you guys did not want to miss. So far throughout the day, we have had nothing but exciting matchups. Our first series was a back and forth bloodbath between Vanquish and E United. But here in the second series, we're going to a map number 5, Rise versus Fire Nice. And man, so far, Colin, these two teams, they have just been honestly entertaining us. We're going into this map number 5, this checkout execution. And with everything that you have seen so far throughout both these two teams, who do you have to give a little leg up to?
Back to the execution, you got to give the leg up over to Rise. They were fantastic over there on the side of Canals earlier, especially when they were able to really get the fights they wanted. We go to checkout. The big worrying factor for me on checkout is what is Rise's answer going to be to the middle map pressure of, without a doubt, Dyslexic and Xploidz. They are going to get to that mid-platform and that snipe fight, and they're going to want every last piece of the smoke that Rise is going to be willing to offer. I mean, you are not going to find two guys that are going to be more ready and willing to fight over that positioning than Dyslexic and Xploidz, if you ask me. It might even boil down to the 1v1 on the opposite side of the map over the frags being one to give up that angle to be able to help your teammates out, because you might have to play on your back foot. You might have to Lancer out a little bit heavier in the early goings of this map number 5 on execution checkout. I think that's what they need to do, is find the answer very quickly to that mid-map pressure.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can handle that mid-map pressure, because it's really going to be hard. And now, when I was looking at the kind of the stats coming into this one and seeing the execution maps in which these squads played beforehand, we know that Rise, they have played Clock Tower pretty much 5 times since it came out. They were sitting at 4-1, and now they're undefeated on Canals. They're finally playing their third execution map. Haven't played. I say undefeated on Clock Tower. They were They had one loss. They had one loss. It was 4-1. 4-1 on that one. But as we head over here towards checkout, they haven't played it yet. And it's going to be Fire Nice, who are currently 2-0. They've taken down the Knights, and they've taken down Noble as well when it comes down to it. So 112 rounds, lost just 6. Rise haven't played it yet. And we'll see if they have what it takes to really take down this Fire Nice team, and then vice versa, because Rise so far has been finding ways round by round to get themselves an advantage. If they find themselves behind, they will evolve and they will cut that deficit. They will find that lead. But it just comes down to, can they start off with the right formula? Or do they have to kind of build off that as this map goes on against FNI?
Well, I think you're going to have to find out that they need to start with that mid-map pressure or answering for it, and then build off of that. Because what you do is, once you force Fire and Ice to make a change in that mid-map pressure, you have to continue to build off that by maybe even taking your advantages there. So this is going to be a very interesting first couple of rounds, if you ask me. I think Rise has to have an early answer. It is a map 5. There is no room for error whatsoever. Both of the meltable respawn control maps won by Fire and Ice. The Escalation won by Rise, as well as the Execution. So let's see how they do here in our other single life map in our best of 5 series.
Whew, so far the round based mode's going in favor of Rise, and then the respawn mode's going in favor of Fire and Ice. But we got one more round based mode left tonight, and Fire and Ice have not lost it, folks. It's map number 5. Let us know who in the chat, who is your favorite player out of the 8 that are currently in this lobby? Who do you want to see go big now in this moment? As so far, we have seen one of our longest standstills in checkout to kick this one off, but it will be Fearzly making a first move. He goes down and quickly cleaned up. No nades in hand. He had his shotgun out, I believe, or unless that's the nades right there in the corner that they may have seen last second. Icy backs up. A player does go in to pick up the nade, so he does have them in hand. Over the top for Avexys. He's gonna miss. The flames will not disperse the way that he needs to, but that forces Avexys into his hand, but kind of allowed him to make an easier play as Rushiez comes in with the frag grenades as well.
And once again, they get that mid-map pressure under control. They push up onto that platform. They go for the nades. They get the down. They get the kill. Even though the nades get picked up, simultaneously to the nades getting re-picked up, the 1v1 bottom side of the map was won by Rushiez. So he was able to get to that 90-degree, which forces those last 2 players to kind of push up. They have to push up into the pressure of Rise, because what is happening at that point is you're getting pinched out. Icy's actually bouncing straight up, trying to really put a lot of the emphasis on this initial fight in the middle of the map at those checkout lanes. Here it's going to be Toti versus Icy, and I believe Avexys here. Tries to rotate back up into the lane. Avexys will go down. The Incendiary almost picks 2, but it only finds 1. 3v2 situation. Rushiez will win the 1v1 on the opposite side of the map. Icy is going to be full red. He's going to go down here very short.
Help is coming! And with the flame coming through, well, not no more. Xploidz got the snipe and saved his teammate, folks. He picked it up in the back there just at the end, and he had Fearzly's back. I thought Icy did a fantastic job staying alive as long as he did, but now he's just trying to isolate a 1v1, and this is his best opportunity, just standing on his pillar until somebody gets close enough. He's putting a lot of damage on them before they can get close to him. That extends the round. I love how he's playing this. And then my next question is that if he plays this right or just a little bit longer, maybe that heal will be behind him, but he wasn't able to get enough damage in on Fearzly moving up off his right hand. And great effort from Icy, but it's hard clutching up here in this version of Execution.
Really curious what the next play would have been. Maybe if he'd had a little bit more of a left-hand side in there, if he had tried to rotate out as that player tried to make their way through the middle side of that checkout. Even if you give up,
he's gonna have to back up because he can't go down.
It's just straight backwards. He can't go to the left to try to keep them both in front of him, because once they separate and they're on either side of him, it pretty much makes it impossible to win. I feel like you got to keep them both in front of you, or keep them both to the same side of you is the better way to put it.
It's a 1v1 Lancer battle at the end of it, because that sniper is going to have that out. You just keep rotating off of his angle, and you just have to pre-fire your 1v1 with that Lancer and hope that the damage scares that guy back to rotate, force him to make a mistake. But if you get that down, then from there, it just comes down to just moving around cover and those type of positionings. So coming here into round number 3, it's a slow start between both these squads. Very, very intense, but those were double flashes that went out to the platform. Stops anyone from being able to hop up. And you do see that Rise member in the corner being DeToX, waiting to get some free L triggers. And it's designed to get this player off the revive, but this time around, it's successful for Fire and Ice. Rise was not able to clean up the kill. Rushiez isn't fighting his 1v1. So it's F&I with an advantage having these 2 incendiary grenades. Now Xploidz just has to use them.
I would like to see a long range throw, try to get Icy off of that L-shaped cover, because you throw the first one, you get him to rotate left, and then what you do is you throw the second one, basically stack them on top of each other, so they can't take they cannot take the cover on that lane, and all they can do is back up and Lancer into the snipe. But now you take over the verticality position, which I think is the position you want to be in.
It has to be a blind fire, though. He cannot come out of cover and L trigger his nade. He needs to arc it. Look that camera. All right, that's the L trigger, but that's so easily dodgeable that extra second that he needs before his opponent can react has to come from a blind fire toss. But those nades, it just kind of warms Icy up as if it was a winter night here. As you see, the entire Rise squad is just sitting very, very cozy at the checkout, and they're going to lock in round number 3.
They lock it in. They don't throw a great incendiary, the first or the second one. It's a lot of
Help me!
it's a lot of brilliant positioning, I would say, by Icy to not get hit by either of them and be able to kind of sit down and take a lot of positioning there in the middle lanes to help Lancer out, get that back A off and help get that first down, by the way. That's absolutely huge. We come here to round number 4. What can Fire and Ice really do to answer back? They win round 2, but it came off the backs of them having to basically Lancer out Icy for a year and a half to try to get that kill in the finale of that round. Here they give up the incendiaries over to the side of Rise, and I think Rise might be able to sniff out this double push over toward the bottom side. Incendiary long range out by Icy, and I don't think it's going to get anybody that doesn't.
Yeah, no, it's not. And so, you know, so far Rise, they're doing a good job picking up the incendiaries on this side. Icy can't connect with that nade, and you're gonna just see these boys get angled out. DeToX picks up the snipe, and that's like a win condition of its own. As F&I, it's a 3v3. This is winnable for him, and that kill comes through. DeToX backing up, trying to get some distance between him and his opponent. The body shot is there. The shotty kill comes through, but couldn't get this. Nades. Oh, doesn't connect, but that shotty hurt. That shotty hurt. Oh. Nice try from Rushiez. Nice try. That was a great effort between him and DeToX. Once that first down came through, you know, DeToX tried to clean up the kill. He didn't even know the down was going to come through because Rushiez picked it up from afar. If they could have just found a way to buy themselves about 3 or 4 more seconds to group up, they have a fantastic chance of winning that round.
Yeah, without a doubt. I really thought Rushiez, that first nade he threw, I thought might catch somebody and just get one chunk, or even enough damage to really stop that player from being comfortable to sit out like that. Really thought he was going to get it. Ended up not getting it. Now you see Icy rotating inside of that checkout lane. A lot of shots there on the Fearzly. He's not going to be able to get that down. Avexys is actually, I'm going to say, is my man challenging across the bottom of the lanes right here. Long range flash over the top. Gets the stun there onto Avexys, but it doesn't get any kills, doesn't net anything. Smoke out. You see that player maybe step up onto the top of the platform. Xploidz, who went down, has already been picked up. Incendiary toward Dyslexic, doesn't find him.
And so Rushiez comes away with these frag grenades once again, and he's going to be able to back up, get safe, tosses one to be able to stop any pursuers from being able to wrap around and get DeToX, and the second one won't connect. One incendiary grenade is being tossed here. I do believe that is on
all
the
nades
side.
Are out. All nades are out.
Yeah, okay, so all nades are gone, and it's just going to be a sniper in the hand of Toti. He gets one. Looking for a second, connects on a body shot. Shotty's out, and he will be able to pick up that kill. Man advantage for them. Pistol's out. I think the pistol is the right weapon, but the close quarter fight goes in the favor of Rise and Toti. Oh my God, Rise comes out with it. The buddy system works out. Revive, kill, revive, kill, revive, kill. For those members of Rise, and great teamwork there from Avexys and Rushiez.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you right there, Avexys and Rushiez should thank the good Lord above that they're not in a private school that doesn't let you hold hands through the hallways. Because right there, that's all they were doing, man. That's all. They were walking down. They were walking to English class. They were going to second period, holding hands. All the teachers saw and said, man, that's cute. That's just cute right there. Because they got every single one of those kills back to back to back to give them a round lead here. 3-2. I think Rise needs to win this year to really give them a definitive edge. They push up. They get really aggressive off the initial.
Really?
It's almost like they throw away the round. It's like they're so thankful they won the last one. They said, let's give you one back, make it 3-3.
And Toti finds another headshot. It's only one player left, and he's going to take it out. Yeah, you know, you go back to the beginning portions of it, they really committed a lot of members towards the back end. Honestly, with checkout, sometimes you have to commit, because if you're indecisive on this map and you even back up a bit, you're so far in the open for Lancer angles, and your opponent knows exactly what to do. I don't blame them for kind of committing on that round, but we'll see what happens going into this one. And, you know, we've seen so much of the nade usage, you know, throughout this round. And one way to always toss a perfect nade more times than not is toss it in a way for your opponent to have to roll forward. And I feel like most players toss them to back up their opponent, not put it far enough away to play off their first instinct of rolling back. That indecisiveness is what gets kills when it comes down to the frags. Now, nobody is indecisive in this round, as Fire and Ice knows this is a must-win. Rise trying to fight for their life. They're backing up.
4-3. Rise with a beautiful answer in that round, if you ask me, especially with the fact that 2 rounds ago, when they were a little bit more aggressive and end up losing that fight for themselves. I really like the way that they played together once again in that round, really giving themselves the options to go forward in those fights and be able to get a lot of different shots on. This is going to be interesting to me for the simple fact that I think Rise, they can't get cocky again where they push across the back. They need to continue to kind of play it slow up. Icy went down. They get the quick revive off onto him.
This will work.
He goes. I know. I was just saying. Did he go down again? I saw him in the.
He is a bully. He did not just bully this entire team the way that he just did over here at these nades. And his nades doesn't connect, but his opponent backs up. And I thought he had 2 good nades to really back up those members of Fire and Ice to allow his team to get some positioning wide. But they just came up a bit short. He gets them quick. He tosses one in the secondary, tosses one back lane, and that should open the door for your teammates. But the way he even used his flash to move up there and get those nades and just completely disregard Dyslexic's presence over there was flawless by Rushiez. But Rise could not capitalize off of that, and this is reset. Flame grenades are up. Sniper's still here. We'll see how this round kind of breaks out.
Popped up onto the cover now. Fearzly's full red. Good shot there by DeToX or Rushiez to get the down. Icy trying to clean up kill after kill. It's 3v2 in the situation now. Backing up, playing a little bit more of that wolf pack, doing exactly what has got them to this point, able to get them into the position to be up by a round and have a lot of these kills. Another down comes through. Toti's down, going to push up onto that cubby. They have the X angle onto him as well. Beautiful job. That's going to be a 5-3 round count with 1 round to go. Can Rise win it off of all the round respawn counter maps? That's going to be an absolutely beautiful thing to see. It's almost like we see kind of the identities of teams starting to formulate going into the latter parts of this pro league.
Yeah, man. Whew. Rise, they execution is looking like their game mode. I do believe they have the best record out of any squad in the league so far when it comes down to an execution win rate. And so far, it's really been working out for them, folks. Here in this round number 9, can Rise close out this series? We're about to find out here. Incendiary grenades being picked up here by Fire and Ice. They use the first one, comes up short, not even close to any Rise member, but that kill coming in from Fearzly and him kind of funneling these players here towards the outside. So far, Fire and Ice they're having success with this man advantage. They find a second kill. Only 1 member remaining, and Rushiez is there on a cover, trades out. F&I 1 round away from getting this one all tied up, but it's not going to be no easy task.
Without a doubt. Now we're just in that situation where it's learning to close out right here. The hill is at electronics. So if you don't win the initial, do you roll out and try to set up over there? Do you try to get into a position of your Rise to try to put the pressure on Fire and Ice to play back into the electronics area? Or vice versa, if you're Fire and Ice, if you lose the initial, do you try to force Rise to play up into you in the electronics?
Whew, when it comes down to it, man, just currently in this round with these incendiary grenades in the hands of Icy, Fire and Ice, they're backed up. They're waiting for him to use them, see if he can botch a few of them, if he can play around it. And so far as we're currently at a standstill, how does Icy want to find this first blood? He has a sniper in his sight. I love this angle because he can twirl without his opponent really seeing him, so he gets a really precise toss. And Fearzly doesn't have anywhere to run. Out in the open, he cuts back. He needs to just find some cover and sit there. And they will find a little cubby to regain their health and momentarily, but they have to defend with back A's, and that's one that connects. A wrap shot coming in from Fearzly. Rise backing up. They're able to get it down, but Rushiez with the nades. He gets 2 free throws. One comes in. It misses, but the second misses as well. And Xploidz gets it down. Man advantage for Fire and Ice, and Rushiez was the last man standing. We're going to another round 11 in this series for execution.
all the way to the ledge, all the way to the edge. We will solidify this entire series, all 5 maps across the board at a final round here on Execution on Checkout. All of the marbles, all the chips in the middle, all the everything you could possibly imagine, all the metaphors don't live up to what is about to take place here as both teams roll out of spawn. Rushiez taking a little bit of a wide angle down to the bottom toward those frag grenades. 1v1 opposite side of the map. Icy trying to take over that middle lane. Pressure will come through. They pressure straight across. DeToX goes down. Avexys now getting pressured out. He goes down as well. Nobody in the area to help him out. 2 big kills for Fire and Ice. Everybody down. Everybody dead. Quick as a hiccup on the edge of a lightning bolt. The beatdown comes through. Fire and Ice finish it off 6-5.
What a series, folks, between these two teams. We talked about how it was going to be close, how it was going to go down to the wire. And Rise on series point, F&I says, we're not out of it yet. Aww. We're always ready for battle. F&I close out the series in map number 3.
I really am in love with the fact that Icy goes into that lane and it opens up basically a highway to hell for Fire and Ice. They had no remorse.
I thought he played it perfectly, though. It wasn't even his fault.
It's not his fault. It is his team for not understanding that when you open that kind of a gap, there is enough space for somebody to run through it. You know that, right? Like, especially if they're together, because the other 2 players, one that's going to play up onto that platform had an Asher out. The other one has a Lancer out. They both have Lancers and they're playing 5 to 10 yards back. Those players are dead before they get there. In this situation, because they're mismatched in the damage output, they get that down. Now it's the only player that's left standing is the one with the Lancer out. It's all over but crying.
Yeah, and you know what? I think what Fire and Ice did off that design that worked so well for them, because their focus was on Icy as he went into the secondary. And you saw Icy with his flash in his hand as he was prepared to guard himself against Fearzly's aggression there. But Fearzly stayed back a little bit. Icy took a lot of damage where he had to side rolling into the lane, but somebody on F&I put all their focus on DeToX and Avexys. And once they got that down, Fearzly said, I'm straight lining it. And so with that straight line and his teammate support with their Lancers still out, they quickly pick up those 2 kills, and it's nothing that Icy can do in that scenario. But the fact that one of them went down, I don't know if that's what lost in the round or if it was Fearzly composure not rushing in there as fast as he did the 10 rounds beforehand.
I still think it just boils down to giving up lane priority. You don't have anybody to check anybody. Icy rolls in there still with flash out. He goes to switch to an Asher. The problem is as he watches those 2 players run to his left, Toti is rotating to his right to either pick up snipe and hit body shots or to just Lancer him out. They literally, it was a spider to the fly. They opened up the hole. The trap was laid and Fire and Ice sprung it.